All right. Well, boy, capacity crowd here tonight.
It's always impressive when we see a butt in every seat in this arena.
Right. Well, welcome back, everybody, live from the concourse here at the Progressive Auto Sales Arena. Getting ready for the Sarnia Sting to host the London Knights. Of course, played last night. London will be looking for some payback after a loss of 3-2 to the Sarnia Sting.
Close game, but I think they're going to walk out of here just as disappointed tonight as they were last night at home.
Well, that's probably the hope for the Sting fans. And, of course, as a full house going on here, there's a lot of London Knights fans here as well that have made the trip down. It's really down to crunch time. Notably, with some crunch time, Pastujov and Delbelbaluz both scoring their 30th OH goals last night. So these guys have really certainly shown up for the Sarnia Sting.
Oh, absolutely. When they brought in Pastujov back, what was it, November,
Almost
December?
3 months ago now, yeah.
I mean, right from the beginning, he was an amazing asset to this team. And the more comfortable he's gotten in a Sting jersey, it's just gotten better and better over time. And he's proving that every time he sets foot out on the ice. And then Delbelbaluz, of course. I mean, it's watching these guys come together as a team has been amazing. Like it's like they've been playing together all season. It's just they mesh really well together out on the ice. It's a thing of beauty, and for Sarnia, we couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, it's really well. Let's talk about how a sport affects a community. It really puts out a positive vibe, and sometimes people. There's been many stories over the history of any sport where if a community, not saying we were really down, but coming out of the pandemic and seeing something like this, it's really had a positive effect, certainly on our community here. And the Sarnia Sting, not shy of coming up any obstacles this year. I mean, I look at the scratch list here tonight, and we've pretty much, we're missing like Campbell and Mitch Young and a few others, but we've really got the full powerhouse team back on the ice now, as well as those new additions, and that's certainly making a difference out there.
Oh, 100%. Like, this is just, I don't know, as a Sting fan over the years, it's kind of like everything's, like we talk about everything coming together.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the year, I think.
Yeah.
This is the year that Sting fans have been waiting for since the days of Stamkos.
Right.
Like, we had a great team back then. We had a great community coming together, supporting this team back then. I haven't seen it this good since then. I think even now is better than it was back 15 years ago when Stamkos was here. The crowds in this building have been amazing for the last month and a half or so since they've really come together and we brought in those new additions.
It certainly shows here tonight, and like you say, as of recent, we're seeing a lot. Hey, how you doing? As of recent, seeing a lot of support here. Now, I will say this. Let's go back to last weekend. Dare I bring up the past? But boy, they had a tough time on the road. I mean, they were 1-3. But then again, winning against North Bay Battalion. But then, of course, the Sioux would come back to get their revenge after a loss of 12-1 to us, and then they took a 7-3. And I think I mentioned it last time too. Was Alan Letang is a coach known for not holding back. He'll put it right to you, and he pretty much said. If they thought 60 minutes of hockey was hard there, wait till they get to practice. And I think we saw the turnaround here, earlier this week, out playing against the Guelph Storm, who has had their struggles, but as of recent was playing fairly well.
Oh, right, for sure. And, I mean, every team goes through that. You got to ride the waves, and, and when you're riding the waves, you got your up moments and your down moments.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've been seeing a lot more good coming out of bad. Like, we have a little valley where they're just not coming together for one road trip. I mean, our win-loss record still speaks to what this team is accomplishing and what they're capable of. So, do I wish we could win every single game every time the puck drops? Sure, but that's not possible. So,
no. But then, if the effort's not there, I mean, you sort of get what you deserve in this game, right? You got to come out, putting them on the heels, and our second periods, as we've said before, are typically our strength, but we need all of those 60 minutes in there. This is like we're almost into March, right? Like there's really less room for error now.
I mean, looking at the game last night too, right? Like third period, I mean, last night was the same thing. Second period was their strength, but they held them off in the third, which was important. They had a late penalty, so they were shorthanded right there at the end. I'm sure London was doing everything they can to, tie it up and take it to overtime, but our defense shut them down, and we just played well together as a team like they've been doing. And what more can we ask for?
We really just need to keep bringing that out, but especially tonight because there is a vibe. You can already feel it in the arena here right now. London's here, Sarnia's here. I know I saw a few people here down from Kitchener and Windsor hanging around here too, just regular fans that I know. So there's a vibe going on in this room. And these are two teams that have been set up to be strong competitors just because of the location. Battle of the 402, and these two teams have, no matter who's on the team, never really liked each other.
There's a rivalry, that's for sure, but with how good both of them are this year, that rivalry will always be there, the Battle of the 402.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a thing. But lots of times, like year after year, London has been the dominating force every time we step on the ice together. That's not the case this year. That's definitely not going to be the case tonight.
No.
So now it's kind of like it's a real Battle of the 402 now.
Right.
Battle of the 402 seemed like it was maybe a marketing thing before
Yeah.
when Sarnia was dominated every
Now
time they
it's
got out
real.
there against. Now it's a real thing. We see the London Knights and the Sarnia Sting out there together. Everyone knows that that's going to be a special game. So they're going to be seeing something special as soon as the puck gets dropped.
Yeah. Sarnia Sting have learned to do better with receiving aggression too, I think, in the last several months. We've talked about that before, where maybe there's a little more maturity out there. Sometimes the younger fellas, you poke the bear too much and they react differently. This team has finally realized that we can't afford to do that, but we're not afraid to show up like Nolan Dillingham will show up when pushed the wrong way.
When needs be, for sure. It's, they've done an amazing job of harnessing those emotions and not letting it get the better of them and not letting other teams get to us. But like you said, at the same time, when push comes to shove and it's a necessity, they're not afraid to get that aggressiveness going the other way either. So they've really done well with that going both ways this year.
I think so. Well, Lee, I guess we're going to find out. Coming up, we're getting ready about 8 minutes away. I do want to mention Lambton Public Health is here in the house next to me here, and we're going to have Becky Wellington-Horner join me probably next period just for a couple of minutes, and then Lee will step in and we'll talk about whatever we saw in the first period. I got to tell you, I'm shaking a little bit here just out of sheer excitement, for the season that this team, again, has seen with their obstacles, what they've overcome, and now we're here to this point. And, there goes Dylan Sika, the GM. I was talking to him earlier, and I'm like, just kind of right on, man, keep going. And he had a big smile going there. And they have been practicing hard, and now it's time will tell, right?
Yep.
So we'll see what happens at the end of this first period, and we'll be back to talk to you. Post-game press conference, always at the end of the game here tonight. We'll be live from the restaurant here at the Progressive Auto Sales Arena. That's about it for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, I'm David Burrows live with the Sarnia Sting on the concourse and my friend Lee Bazeley. Ready, set, 1, 2, 3. Go Sting, go!